We're joined by Pamela Church-Pryor. She is the Community Ministries Director at the Salvation Army Norwich Citadel Corps. Pamela, you're here to talk about the Pathway of Hope program. What is Pathway of Hope?
Pathway of Hope is a program of the Salvation Army to walk alongside families who are caught in the cycle of intergenerational poverty.
How does the Salvation Army support clients who are going through Pathway of Hope?
Well, we help them identify what are their barriers to the lack of self-sufficiency. And then we walk alongside of them, providing resources and support.
What types of challenges or situations might bring someone to the Pathway of Hope program?
Well, we see a lot of our families have a lack of employment, a lack of education, and a lack of hope. And we have found that if we can help bring back that sense of hope, it renews their desire to address those barriers.
And Pamela, no two clients necessarily have the same path.
Correct. Yeah, so it's very individual. And we just help them tell us what they feel they need to work on to become self-sufficient and successful and to change the direction of their family's future.
How can someone get involved in the Pathway of Hope program?
They can contact their local Salvation Army and just ask if they could speak with a case manager or a social worker about the Pathway of Hope program.
How do you measure success in Pathway of Hope?
Well, there are some assessments that have been designed to help us measure not only their level of hope, but how they're doing in the program, and they take those assessments every 3 months. But I think the best way is to just chat with them and see them feeling better and more positive and having more hope and a renewed aggressiveness or passion to their goals.
Could you share maybe one of the success stories that you've seen in the Pathway of Hope program?
Sure. I was working with a young lady who was very passionate and very driven. She was underemployed and she was a single mother of 3 children. She was able to, after working with some of our volunteers, addressing her resume and job interview skill development, and even dressing for success, she was able to land a really good job. But within the first 90 days, her employer came to her and said, I think we're going to have to let you go because your grammar is not up to par. She came to my office and said, I don't know what to do. I really love this job and I think I'm doing well, except they say that my grammar needs to be improved. I said, that's very doable. So we connected her with an administrative assistant for a very large corporation who met with her every Saturday for a few weeks, looked at the templates she was using on the computer, and then also the spoken word to improve her grammar. She went back to her employer. He was very impressed that she didn't just say, well, fine, I'm out of here, but she took it upon herself to address that and to correct it and to improve herself, and she's doing very well with that company.
It's a fantastic story. Yeah. And how does it make you feel to be a part of that?
I'm really pleased and I'm very proud of every family who comes through Pathway of Hope. I think they're courageous. You know, it takes a lot to look at your life and say, I need to make changes. So I find them to be courageous. I find them to be very concerned about their family and their future and that they want to break the cycle. So I admire them and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Another service that's offered at the Norwich Citadel and at all of our core locations here in the Metropolitan Division area is emergency assistance. Can you tell us what that encompasses?
Sure. It can look different, like Pathway of Hope, to every family, but we try to provide some stability if they're in a crisis mode. For example, if they're behind in one of their utility bills, we try to get it before it gets so out of control that they're facing disconnection. So we might be able to pay a month of service. It might be food from the pantry. It might be something more along an emotional need. It could be that they need pastoral counseling, or it could mean they need something like parenting classes, which we're really pleased to offer at Norwich Citadel. And it's a growing program that is meeting needs for families.
You talk about this program growing. What is the need for emergency assistance, maybe those one-time rent or utility payments here in the Chicago area?
Yeah, it can mean the difference of being facing homelessness. So if we are able to intervene and pay a month's rent or a mortgage, it will give them, buy them another month. If it's employment that they need, hopefully they'll get a job in that time. Or if it's whatever their need is, we're hoping to prevent homelessness.
Pamela, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, it's been my pleasure.
And thank you. Stay tuned for more of the WBBM Salvation Army Good Neighbor Radiothon.